Welcome back, my duelist friends. It is Wednesday, and I'm the casual duelist. So, yesterday we had the Here Goes Something deck list with Jade and Yuki and the Elemental Heroes. And again, to me, that feels more like a Flame Wingman OTK. So, today's deck, I wanted to focus in really on a couple of the fusions while still showing some variety. But using the other skills. So today's deck, we are going to be using the right hero for the job. Now, the way that this skill works is once per duel during your main phase, you may shuffle one elemental hero monster you control into your deck. Then special summon one level 4 or lower elemental hero monster from the deck with a different name than the shuffled monster. So we're going to switch them out on the field. This is kind of tricky to use. And so I'm only going to build a deck using this once for now. Because honestly, all this is going to do is help us auto-correct if our hand wasn't proper the first time. Which is something that the triple reinforcement of the army for now is actually able to counter. So realistically, this is the Jaden skill that you guys will not use that often. But good practice. Let's use it. Let's get it done today. And then, should we feature a ban list at some point? Obviously, Reinforcement of the Army is one of those cards that has to be limited. So this would make more sense in the future. So, real quick, I'm going to run some 2-ofs. I'm going to run 2 copies Avion, 2 copies Burstinatrix, 2 copies Clayman, and 2 copies Sparkman. Now, the reason here is I'm actually showing off a majority of the interactions within the deck for the extra deck, because right here you have your Thunder Giant, here you have your Rampart Blaster, here you have your Flame Wingman, and already that's half of them. What's going to allow us to get to the rest is the additional copies of 2 copies Goddess of the Third Eye, and this will allow us to go into Dark Bright and Plasma Vice using the Sparkman. So realistically, you guys could play and have all of the fusions in this deck. I did not. I prioritized which ones I thought were better. I did fail to mention Steam Healer, because again, you could substitute out for the Bubble Man. But right here, I did want to show off that between Burstinatrix and Sparkman, if you do have the Goddess with the Third Eye, you have access to any one of the fusion monsters currently available for the Elemental Heroes. Going into the spells for the deck, and again, I'm not going to be running any traps today. I am going to feature 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Again, I like prioritizing the back row hate just because there is so much ability to counter front row stuff with this deck. One of the things that's going to allow us to do that is the double copy fusion weapon. Double copy fusion weapon allows us to essentially overpower just about everything in the game. We are going to run 3 copies Polymerization because, again, we do need to maximize our ability to get into this card. Because, again, heroes, in this essence, without Solidarity, especially without Prisma, you're running a slightly less effective version of heroes here, even within Speed Duel. So we need to make sure that we can, of course, fuse. And then standard play for this and just about every other warrior deck right now is going to be 3 copies Reinforcement of the Army. So that is the main deck. That is all 20 cards. And then in the extra deck, I just happen to prioritize 2 copies of Flame Wingman because, again, I can make 2 to 3 copies of this per game. We do tech in the single Plasma Vice for the Goddess of the Third Eye play with Sparkman. We do have the single copy Rampart Blaster because it's still a very good viable defensive option. And then my second favorite hero, 2 copies of Thunder Giant. So again, this equals out to like this really cool control-ish, fairly aggressive build. And again, it puts the casual in casual duelist. You do get access, and you can have access to literally every fusion monster in the deck. Again, everybody in here except the Plasma Vice is within the level requirements for the fusion weapon. So the weakest one would end up being the Rampart Blaster, and it's still 3,500 while it's in attack mode. Still makes it a boss level card. I think the weakest overall would be the Steam Healer. It's at 18, so that would only be at 33. Still, fantastic build. A lot of fun to be had with this. Guys, go ahead, take your screenshot, make your notes, whatever it is that you do. I'd want to take a second to thank you guys for stopping by to enjoy this deck list. And if this was all you were here for, consider subscribing to the channel and maybe turning on those notification bells to help support us. But you guys have a great day. Everybody else, let's kind of go over this. And real quick, let me just clean up the field. All right, now that that's nice and clean, let's just kind of go over this whole thing one more time. And then I'll let you guys go. And then, of course, I'll ask you guys to have a great day. But right hero for the job, literally all this is going to do is swap out one of your monsters on the field that is an elemental hero for a level 4 or lower elemental hero from the deck. So this is just to change names in case you didn't have your fusion substitution in your hand and you really needed to make the play happen. This still allows that to happen. And again, later on when we don't have 3 copies of Reinforcement of the Army, this may be a more important card than it is today. So again, I just wanted to kind of show off what you do. A lot of all of the ones that we're using today are normal. So again, they're just stats and they're here for their names, of course. So we're going to, again, use 2s, Avion, Burstinatrix, Clayman, and Sparkman. Then you're going to have 2 copies, Goddess with the Third Eye. All this is going to do is act as one of the monsters, should you not have both of them, in your hand/field in order to make the fusion that you're after. And again, this is the only way that we're going to gain access to our Plasma Vice today, because we did not board in the Blade Edge. So again, very important card. Cosmic Cyclones, again, help tear apart the back row and ensure the safety of your monster cards. Fusion Weapon can be used on everybody but the Plasma Vice in our extra deck, allowing them to take down just about every card in the game. Polymerization, just here because it's a simple catalyst, and Reinforcement of the Army to make sure that your hand is as good as possible. So it really comes down to the extra deck. I'm going to list off their effects. They all share the first one, that is that they must be fusion summoned. So no special summoning by effects. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage equal to the destroyed monster's attack while it's in the graveyard. So again, whatever the original written stat would be, that is what they will take as effect damage. And of course, we wanted to play this twice. Just because, again, I value that and I value the Thunder Giant the highest in this one. We do have the Plasma Vice. This one does inflict piercing when attacking defense monsters. And additionally, you can discard a card, target an attack position monster your opponent controls, and destroy it. So again, as long as it is an Obelisk the Tormentor, which can't be targeted, this should be able to take care of any monster the opponent has, regardless of whether or not you overpower it. Rampart Blaster can attack from defense mode. It can attack directly from defense mode. If it does, it uses its attack value for the damage, and during damage calculation, that attack is going to be half. And then, of course, Thunder Giant must be fusion summoned. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card. Target a monster in the field with an original attack less than the attack of this card. Destroy that target. So if your attack has been augmented, you're going to use the augmented value. So again, if we added the fusion weapon here, you're allowed to choose anything that's less than 3,900 on the opposing side. And when it says the original attack on the opposing monster, it means that if they have any buffs, you can disregard those and go with just a written stat. So again, Thunder Giant, heck attack. I love this card. And I hope that a deck like this, or even tomorrow's build, little surprise third build of heroes, maybe it's not a surprise. I thought it was kind of neat, but I'm sure a ton of you are way too smart and you guys have already figured it out. It makes more sense, and it really brings Thunder Giant forward a little more, I think. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. I do hope that you guys get a chance to get on the tables and start playing. And again, I hope this sort of answered the how would you buff the Jaden Yuki deck, because that was definitely a comment and I wanted to make sure that we addressed it. So I kind of went a little overboard. Yeah, I built 3 decks, and the third one will be tomorrow. So I do hope that you guys enjoy the run. I'm going to go figure out another deck for Friday and decide whether or not we're going to do one on Saturday or take a break before we get back to it on Sunday. So you guys have a great day, okay? Go do something for you. Make the rest of today about you. I'll see you guys later.